Okay, everyone, so we are here today to continue with our algebra for this August 2023. And what we're going to be looking at now is expansion of brackets. Now, it's going to involve you doing multiplication, of course, with some addition as well. And we'll be going through a lot of the style of problems you'll need to actually know. So this video is going to be a little bit more advanced than how some of you may find it to be comfortable. But again, follow these steps and be patient. In order for you to actually understand what's about to happen in this video requires you to just take your time, look at the information, and figure out similarities. So let's get straight into it. Let's say we have a question wherein we have 3m plus 7. So notice we have 3 on the outside, and in brackets we have m plus 7. Now what this means is, let's use some arrows for this. The 3 is going to multiply m, and it's also going to multiply 7. So now let's expand this bracket. So we're going to have 3. Bracket, of course, means to multiply, so 3 times m. Now we're going to maintain our sign in this case, but as you go forward you'll see some changes on how you can actually approach this question. But once everything is with an addition sign, or one we'd say positive, it's all okay. So we're going to put our addition sign, and then we have 3 times 7. So notice I have two arrows. The 3 multiplies m, and then the 3 multiplies 7. So we know because you have a variable m, one answer is going to be for m. But let's just work out this part here. 3 times 7 is 21. Now remember, when a letter does not have, a variable does not have a number in front of it, that number is 1. So if we multiply here, we'd have 3 times 1, which is equal to 3. So my final answer is 3m plus 21. And you're finished. So again, looking at our pattern here, 3 multiplying m plus 3 multiplying 7. Notice that the 3 is multiplying everything that's in the bracket. So let's look at another one here now. Let's say we have 4 in our bracket. We have 3n plus 2y. So like before, 4 is going to multiply 3n, and then it's going to multiply 2y. So notice the terms in the bracket are each individually multiplied, but what is outside of the bracket, which we would call the scalar. So here we're going to have 4 times 3n plus 4 times 2y. So let's maintain our addition sign there now. And again, notice you're going to have to use the similar steps you used in earlier practice sessions that you had. We notice here our variable is n, and we notice on this side our variable is y. So you need to know what our coefficients will be. So let's start here. 4 times 3 is equal to 12. So this is 12n, and then 4 times 2 is equal to 8. So this is 8y. Therefore, when we expand the problem of 4 in bracket 3n plus 2y, our answer is 12n plus 8y. Okay, so I hope you guys are following these steps as we now move into the next style of question. So here we have k, and then in bracket we have k minus 5. So notice we have a negative that we're working with in this question. So we're going to take this thing in steps, and then we're going to do a little bit of switching around afterwards. So it means we have k times k, and then k times minus 5. Now of course I know that most persons are not comfortable working with the negative sign, so I'll show you an easy approach you can take in order to actually figure this out. So let's start. We have k times k. And what we're going to do, we're not going to put back this at this negative. We're going to put a plus sign. And then we're going to have k times minus 5. So notice here, the k is positive, so we just maintain that. And then it's negative 5, so we write that back here. Now, with this here being established, let's proceed. Now notice here, k and k both have no coefficients, which means that the coefficient is going to be 1. But recognize something as well. With variables, we have to acknowledge that they have a power. So we're going to have k, and the power, since we don't have any, we know it's going to be 1. It's 1 plus 1. We're going to maintain our plus sign. And then we have k times minus 5. And some persons would want to say this is minus k5. However, we're going to have to rewrite this part here. And of course, we're going to have to add this section. So we're going to have k squared. Now, take note to this here. Whenever you actually are working your questions and you notice this, just recognize that this is actually two operations that will be multiplying. View it like that. And when you have a negative and a positive in this type of relationship happening, it's going to be a negative. So I'm going to put the negative here. And notice I have k5. But also recognize, if you look at some earlier questions, we always have the number in front. So you notice here, the number is in front. The coefficient always should be in front. So we're going to put 5k. So let me just go to the next part here before I move on. Let's say we have n3 and 3n, so that you could actually understand how this works. We want the coefficient first, variable afterwards. But of course, sometimes when persons multiply, they end up writing the variable first and the coefficient afterwards. Now this is n times 3. This is 3 times n. So in retrospect, let's now look at something else. If we have 2 times 3 and 3 times 2. 2 times 3 is 6, 3 times 2 is 6. So generally speaking, both of them would give you the same result. However, we want our coefficient to be first, variable comes afterwards. Always remember that. Now, I do understand that this type of question you may find a little bit difficult based on how you have to acknowledge powers and the setup. But we're going to work some more questions in this video, and hopefully by the time the video concludes, you have a better understanding of what you need to do to solve this type of question. And of course, you can expect your worksheets to actually be filled with these type of questions for you to work on. So let's look at our next question here. Let's say we have 3f, and in bracket we have 5 minus 6f. So as always, whatever is outside is going to multiply everything that's on the inside. So we have 3f times 5. We're going to maintain an addition sign. Then we have 3f times minus 6f. Okay, so I hope you're able to follow for that. Now, let's now look at exactly what we're having here. We have on this side 3f plus 5, and on this side, 3f times 5, and on this side 3f times minus 6f. So working the first half, we know our variable is going to be just f, and what we're left with is 3 times 5, which is 15. So therefore we have 15f. Good, so we need to now work on this side. Notice we're going to have f, and here is going to have the power of 1, and here also has the power of 1. And let's work here now. 3 times minus 6, so 3 times negative 6. 3 times 6 is 18, and we have negative 18. So we have negative 18 here. Our final answer, 15f minus 18f squared. Alright, so We'll actually spend today and tomorrow looking at these types of expansions. So some things that you don't understand today, you'll be seeing in the video tomorrow as we go on and work with more concepts where we have to work with the negatives. So I know that it may be a little bit frustrating right now, so let's move back to working with only positives for the remainder of the video. And well, actually I have another negative I will be working with you. I'll just switch it to positive so everyone is more comfortable. All right, so let's see here. We have 3b squared in bracket 2b cubed plus 3b. All right, so listening to what I just outlined to you, that I have other questions to work. All of these questions that I'm working with you, I plan before I decide to make these videos. I work them beforehand, which is something that shows that I'm still, at this age, I'm still practicing to ensure that my skills as a mathematics teacher don't get dull. So each time I'm sitting with you, I actually work these videos beforehand, these questions beforehand, then I sit and then I demonstrate them to you. In some cases, based on how I notice the flow, I may make a few adjustments to how the questions actually come. So yes, even though I am a degree holder as a teacher, I still practice maths, even the basics. So it just shows you that mathematics is actually a lifelong journey that you're actually embarking on, and shuffling or just ensuring that your skills are up to standard is okay. You just need to keep practicing. So let's now work here on this question. So I'm not going to use the arrows here because at this point you should be able to actually follow. If you're not able to follow, this is where you now have to work with yourself. Instead of you working this video or watching me work the video, what I would like for you to do is pause this video and you try and work the problem. When you have your solution, then play the video. And you're looking to see if the answer you have corresponds with the correct answer, of course, that I'm going to give you. So these are all simple techniques that you can actually use in order for you to get better at maths. So again, I'm not going to be using any arrows for guidance. I will work straight into just multiplying. So let's say from this here we have 3b squared times 2b cubed plus 3b squared times 3b. So from this here, we have b squared plus 3. So look here, this one has a power of 2, this one has a power of 3, and like before, we're just going to add the powers. So then we have 3 times 2, which is 6. So this is 6b, and we have 2 plus 3, which we're going to add shortly, plus we have b squared plus 1. So recognize that this one here does not have any power displayed, which tells us the power is 1, so it's 2 plus 1. And here we have 3 times 3, which is 9. Therefore, our answer will be 6b. Sorry about that. That did its own thing just now when I held down too long. So that's 6b to the 5th power plus 9b to the 3rd power. So if you got this right, congratulations. And if you didn't, it just means you have to practice a little bit more. All right, so let's move on to the last one now. Now this one was a little bit long, but for the sake of simplicity, I'm going to make it a little bit shorter so that you don't get a little bit, let's say, frustrated or exhausted with this type of questions. But recognize these are the type of questions you need to actually get more comfortable with. So what I'm going to do for this one, in making it shorter, and tomorrow we're going to work with more longer questions. Let's say we have 5p cubed q, then in bracket we have 4p squared q to the 7th. So I'm not going to work with any operations of addition and subtraction. This is straight up just working a bracket. So from this here, we just have to do a multiplication. So we have 5p cubed q times 4p squared q to the 7th power. So before we do anything else, let's work with our powers we have for our variables. Our variables we have are p and q. For p, what we have is 3 and 2, so 3 plus 2. And for q, notice here we don't have a power, so it's going to be 1 plus, notice here the power is 7, 1 plus 7. Now our coefficients, 5 times 4, which is 20. So here is 20, giving us our final answer to be 20 p to the 5th q to the 8th. So this will be the conclusion to demonstrations for today. Tomorrow we continue with the expansion of brackets. Questions will be longer. Some questions will have more negative components to it. But again, it requires you to be patient and practice. Some persons have been communicating to me saying they don't understand. But when I explain to them that to just take their time, they're able to actually successfully arrive at a solution. As some persons already are aware of, you just have to take your time and you'll arrive at a solution. This is preparing you for a CXC, wherein I want you to at least answer every single question. Not because something looks a little bit difficult, you're going to do nothing. So that's something that you need to change from your mindset. All of the questions you are given, you have to answer them to the best of your ability. So with that being said, I hope this video has found you well, and do enjoy the remainder of your day.